Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. We're going to continue with our theme of this week. I have a couple of collectives left to go. So we're going to do your 9-year cycle, the closure of your 9-year cycle. So we're going to start as previously, summarizing what was the theme of your past 9 years. So take a deep breath, think about it. Key lessons, key struggles, key challenges. And then we're going to ask for guidance. What is it that you still need to do to shift, to change, to close that cycle and open a brand new, fresh 9-year cycle? If you need more context on why am I doing this, I posted a video about this as I got started. It's still available on my Instagram. And what's coming to my mind specifically for this collective, so I'll just mention it, maybe it's relevant. This switch that we're going through right now, so the 9-year cycle to the next 9-year cycle as well, moving from the year of the snake to the year of fire horse, it's a very powerful shift. And no one, and I spoke about this in detail in the past weeks as well on my stories, no one will be able not to change, not to be pushed, not to move. But the question is how we will change. And it's something also that I covered in my shadow work that we did last week on my channel, self shadow work exercises for you guys. We always change, and there is shift so powerful for the collective that everyone will change. The question is, will you change learning the lessons, or will you change sort of armoring up and making it difficult for you and more resistant? So that's how we're going to direct the guidance for today's reading. But okay, without further ado, past 9 years for this collective. Past 9 years for this collective. Whoop, one more. All right, one more. Okay, we have two, that's all right, they came together. Okay, we have foundation, we have parting, we have union connection, soul connection, wedding rings, we have abandoned. We have abandoned, and we have healing with love that came together. All right, so that being your first sort of your first row. With foundation, what was coming to my mind, this card is about family, security, establishing foundation in your life. What I was hearing that maybe the past 9 years were the years where you put some sort of a focus on family, in a sense of family relationships. I don't know why I'm hearing more relationships with parents, with siblings, with children. So the immediate family, to maybe improve your relationship with family, to maybe understand each other better, to maybe resolve, I'm hearing as well, certain issues, so certain conflicts. With the parting card, it's not always the most positive card to me, but in this context, I was seeing it in a quite positive way, with a positive energy. So maybe this collective, when you look at the past 9 years, they were quite positive. They were full of, some time spent with family, with friends, enjoying each other's company. Maybe you've done a lot. I'm hearing traveling as well. So maybe you've done a lot of traveling. Maybe you've done a lot of celebrations. With those wedding rings, we're going to clarify, but it may be a detail that this is in the past 9-year cycle, you got married. To be honest, I'm not sensing for this collective that this is something that is still stands, right? Especially that we have abandoned coming right next to that card, left out, walked away, and we have love with healing. So overall, what I'm sensing when we talk about the past 9-year cycle, you looking back, there are two key themes that I'm sensing here. One being family, so maybe appreciating your family a little bit more, celebrating your family a little bit more. I am hearing decluttering and cleanse, so maybe there were certain people in your family that were causing a bit of a disruption within the family dynamics, that were removed from the picture, or the conflicts were resolved. I am hearing working on it. I am hearing really putting an effort into the family dynamics, and maybe finding comfort in family as well, realizing the importance of the family. And the second one would be love. So this collective, you would have done a lot of healing and realizations as well when it comes to love. Your maybe the abandonment, maybe the abandonment wound was activated through love relationships. Something that you needed to heal, to also heal your understanding of love, what true love really means, what love is really about. Let's do another row. Shock. Okay, that's interesting. Let me do the whole row. I am hearing something specific. We have coffee, we have poker face. Soulmates. And we have a hammer. I want to do one more for that shock and that foundation, that family. Exhaustion. Depleted, drain, long journey. I feel there would be, we have talking at the bottom of the deck, I feel there would be some sort of a transformation when it comes to your family dynamic, right? So overall, as you look at your family, whether that's your parents, if you have children, siblings, cousins, whoever is that immediate family that you spend most time with, I feel like there has been a transformation. Maybe you went through, as a family, collectively, you went through some difficult times, you went through some transformations, some shocking news that you had to support yourself jointly, and able to sort of survive through that process of change and transformation. I keep hearing that declutter, so I would feel that for this collective there were certain things within your family dynamic that needed to go, and that were removed in the past cycle. So maybe you worked on it, whether that's consciously or not, but I do feel like certain things would have improved in your family dynamics in a past cycle. I do feel this collective you as well change your mindset when it comes to joys of life, celebration. There is a bit of that on top of, we have key on the ring on top of that partying. I do want one more for that, because the key on the ring is not the nicest card, to be honest. Yeah, okay. These aren't the nicest too. Transformation at the bottom of the deck. I wasn't seeing that parting in the worst way, in the worst energy, to be honest, but all the supporting cards are not the nicest. We have Girl with a Snake, Manipulations, we have the Chaser, Key on a Ring. So maybe if you look back on those 9 years, you did have, I sort of got nauseous right now, and I feel like, so maybe you had a period of time that you were using parting as a destruction, as a coping mechanism. It's a vicious cycle, you guys. I always say this to you guys. It's a when people can't handle certain things, and when they escape towards things that seem like a confirmation, that seem like something that is helping you to cope, but on the long run, it's just making things worse. It's a vicious cycle, right? So it's like, if you lack love and if you search for love, you ain't gonna find it in a bar or in a club. If you if you want companionship and happy relationships and friends, you ain't gonna find it in a bar, or it's a very low vibrational place. And I say this to you guys all the time, and I don't care what anyone says. people who are truly spiritual, who are truly awakened, people who truly understand the meaning of life, the value of life, what growth is really about, what love, what companionship, right? What the meaning of life. They don't party, they don't drink, they don't, and I don't care what anyone says, right? It's something that, again, bars, clubs, those places where mainly alcohol is served, they very low vibrational. It's the energy, especially when you already are, an empath, you just feel that. It's the energy of despair, of loneliness, of desperation, right? So healed people don't go to these places, and in consequences it's a vicious cycle. When you want to get better, when you want to meet someone of value, you don't find these people sitting in a bars and sipping cocktails. It's just the way it is. And maybe there are better and worse bars, obviously, but ultimately people of value, people who are truly, focused on the meaning of life and growth, personal growth, spiritual growth, they don't go into these places. And there's a reason it was coming to my mind for this collective. So maybe it's something that you've learned in that cycle. Maybe you had a moment when, in order to cope, you were sort of chasing certain things that you were lacking. You were lacking maybe company, maybe entertainment, maybe to numb into silence. That's usually the reason why people reach for those kind of things. But I feel like it's sort of I'm hearing a specific saying, but I can't get it right. They are showing me like this. It's like you would understand now that it's a vicious cycle. It's like it bites you back. What's the saying, right? Do you know what I mean? So it's like you wanted to maybe soothe yourself, to meet new people, to get out there, but you would have learned your lesson. That's what I'm hearing. It's not the way. Nothing good will ever be found in a club or in a bar. Okay. I kind of want one more for this one as well. I feel like for this collective, a lot of things have happened because it's like confusing energy. Many different thoughts are coming to my mind. I do feel like you would have had a serious relationship in that 9-year cycle. Healing hard, grounding. Coffin, what's that? It's that healing. Yeah, I feel like you had a serious relationship, whether it was marriage or some sort of a union and partnership, but it's a detail, a relationship that was actually something that you wanted to build, something that you considered family, that you thought that maybe it would last forever. But I feel that it ended, and that you had to heal your heart, that you had to move away and move on from this person. But I'm sensing that there was no... I mean, there's always drama, right? Breakups are difficult and heartbreaks are difficult, and any change in life, we're humans, we're creatures of habit, and as much as our soul loves the change and loves the transformation, the ego always resists. But I feel that there wasn't like this major drama, like that you managed overall to sort of end it, maybe not necessarily like your friends and your buddies, but without this major sort of a trauma. Like you went through this, maybe it was also a teaching for you, like you went through this in a very grounded sort of a way with this grounding card, that you managed to find peace and understanding within yourself, that if it's confirmation, that if it's happening, it's because it had to happen, it's because it was destined. So this collective, you would find a lesson in this whole situation. I sort of get the feeling, we're gonna get tarot as well, I sort of get the feeling that there was a new love coming in for you. You would definitely be faced with abandonment trauma in that previous cycle, with feeling abandoned, feeling left out. You know what I'm hearing? Because I keep looking at this, taking a taking a chance, taking a risk. I'm blocking confirmation. I feel like this collective, you ended a relationship. That yes, it was painful. Yes, you had to heal your heart, but you managed to show, overall, you managed to show your maturity in this situation. So understand that if it's happening, it must be for something. And I don't feel this collective, you ended this relationship becoming very bitter. It happens, unfortunately, to many people, which shows your maturity, which already shows your spiritual maturity, your emotional maturity, because most people, unfortunately, when they exit a relationship, be it for a moment or for a very prolonged period of time, they become bitter. They become, I don't want love ever again. People are horrible. Men are horrible. Women are horrible. Love is changed, right? They cannot understand that it wasn't love, that it wasn't commitment, that it wasn't marriage, that it wasn't relationship. It was their individual choice with whom they decided to share these things, right? So there would have been a wisdom within this collective. It's like you knew. So the fact that your love and your relationship ended, it didn't cause this bitterness within you. You still had hope. You still wanted to take chances. Maybe even someone came into the picture, right, I don't want to say right after, but it's sort of a quite short period of time. I'm hearing that you thought it was a connection, that you thought that it was true love. With that love, maybe it even helped you to heal, or it activated certain things within you to sort of to want to heal, want to be better, want to keep going. A lot has happened for this collective in the past 9 years. All right, let's confirm with tarot, with the energy. Where was your energy overall in those past years? And then we're gonna do guidance. Past 9 years. Six of Wands and Judgment. This is really nice. It's making me feel that the last 9 years would be probably, I don't want to say the most important cycle of your life, because when we grow, when we expand, every cycle becomes an important cycle, but the cycle of most significant change, right? So looking back at the past 9 years, again, you would be one of those people that you from 9 years back, completely different person, completely different goals, completely different dreams, completely different objectives, huge realization. I'm hearing awakening as well, confirmation with that Judgment. So maybe in that past cycle, it was a time of your awakening, of your realizationing, opening your mind, your heart to certain truths of life. With that Six of Wands, I am hearing more approach than actually, it is a card of success and triumph, but what I am hearing at the Empress at the bottom of the deck, you would be someone, this collective, who is quite positive, who is quite, yes, we're humans, right? So when things come towards us, we struggle sometimes with emotion, we struggle with pain, we cry, we resist, we question. But some people, they have this spark of optimism always. So through tears and through heartbreak, they always are able to find it within them to say, if it's happening, it must be for a reason. I want to see the lesson in it, right? I want to thrive in it. Better days are coming, right? So I feel like this is this collective. I'm hearing Pleiadians, so maybe you resonate with Pleiadians as your galactic family, or it's something that interests you. I feel you're a very strong soul, this collective, very positive soul. The strongest warriors, those that never give up. No matter what's happening, no matter what's in front of you, no matter the challenge, it's this, whether you had this belief subconsciously, even before you awaken and you actually understood certain laws of universe. But it's this belief that if it's happening, it must be for a reason. We can still thrive. We can still overcome this. True warrior. You know, people these days are so quick to just, it's this collective victim mentality, right? That I see everywhere online, everywhere. People constantly saying, this person is in a better situation, they don't understand me, this person had it better because they had successful parents, or they were born in a different country or with different finances. It's this constant, you know, feeling petty for themselves, or this constant questioning, why is this happening to me? I'm not saying you never had a moment of that. We're all humans again, but it's how we raise from these moments. It's how we face these moments. It's how we regulate the emotion. I feel this collective, you have a strength within you that is keep pushing you. It's like you understand the strength of an old soul. It's like you understand that there's more out there than our small petty human lives and small petty human problems. If it's happening, it must be for a reason. Old souls, it's when you've been through something so many times. We talk about experiencing 500, 600, sometimes even more lifetimes. It builds an imprint within you that even if you don't understand the why, you subconsciously know it's petty. There's more out there to worry about. This too shall pass. The wheel will turn. It's beautiful. What else? The Hierophant. One more. The Hanged One. I'm hearing with this Page of Cups, I'm hearing with this Hierophant, we will confirm, but this being your first row, you have 3 major arcanas, which again, and a beautiful minor arcana, which again, I confirm what I've already said. It would have been an important cycle for you, for this collective, a cycle that changed you, a cycle that pushed you towards alignment, that showed you the path, that awakened you, right? That made you realize certain things. With this Hierophant, I was specifically hearing conditioning and awaken to the conditioning, right? We live in a matrix. We live in a world where people don't even realize that everything that they believe, they think it's universal. They think that they chose to believe in these things. But we are conditioned to all so many things from the day we're born, right? Through cultural conditioning, social conditioning, family conditioning, religious conditioning, the fact that we live in a specific planet in specific times, it conditioned us. Very few people, that this is what the awakening is really for, to reprogram your mind, to release it all, to understand that who invented these man-made rules, right? That so few rules are truly universal. The rest is just something that people constantly invent on and change and add on. It's conditioning. It's conditioning that we lived in. And I feel this collective, you've opened your eyes to it. I'm not going to say you fully liberated yourself from it, but with this Hanged One, it's sort of making me feel that you've become the observer, right? It's this moment when you realize that we're being programmed and we're being conditioned, and it's all a matrix sort of illusion. You don't yet necessarily understand fully the truth, but you're no longer willing to follow along. So you start to question everything. I want to do one more row. 6 of Wands. What? King of Pentacles. I feel this collective, you know what? I feel we've mentioned family. It was sort of started with your first card. I feel, whether you know it or not, you know, some things we're always programmed and we always conditioned, right? The question is, some of us are really born in challenging families, challenging societies, challenging cultures, really narrow-minded, right? And some of us, despite the fact that we are always conditioned, you know, some souls choose to have families or to have members within your family who will already be and have that open-minded mindset, right? That already, I feel like you have, I don't want to maybe necessarily, I don't know how to this, I feel the feeling. You guys know that I always struggle. I receive my downloads and feelings and visions. Maybe you don't necessarily have people in your family who are enlightened and awakened and understand the truth and the meaning of life. But you would have people in your family that have wisdom, that have good hearts, that helped you to be the person that you are, to shape you, to show you true values in life. That's what I'm hearing. And whether you know it or not, this perseverance, this feeling of this too shall pass, it will all be good, whether you realize it or not. Sometimes we're not aware of certain chain reactions that happen in our life, that they come from certain stability that was there within the family. It's this, there are different types of self-love and self-confidence, right? Sometimes we associate self-love and self-confidence with how we feel about ourselves, how we look, and who we are. But sometimes this strength and this confidence comes just from this belief that this too shall pass. Not making, maybe it's coming to my mind, maybe you had a person in your family that would always approach any problem and any struggle with sort of a cooled attitude, right? And it's like, be cool, relax, you know, there's nothing that we couldn't overcome, there's nothing that we couldn't, there's a wisdom in this energy. There's a wisdom and there's a foundation within you, whether you know it or not, that helps you overcome everything that you've overcome. We have the King and we have the Queen. I want to do two more. I feel we have the Strength and the Empress. She wanted to come forth. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. Really beautiful cards. We have Taurus, we have Virgo, we have strong earth sign, so maybe you are an earth sign. We have Leo as well. You may be that, it's making sense. You may be that combination. I'm hearing lion heart, noble heart, the combination of Leo and the Virgo. I wouldn't be surprised, this collective, if you were a Virgo, if many of you were Virgos. There's this, I feel that maybe some of the qualities of those earth signs and that earth energy helped you to survive the past 9 years. That you have it in you to approach things with peace, with calmness. The understanding of abundance. What truly gives you stability in life. The strength. There is something truly about the family for this collective. whether you know it or not. And again, it's a complex thing, and families are not perfect. It's an organism that is always a combination of different souls, different experiences, different characters, right? It's a huge